My view is that the community organizing was actually kind of a sham event, that really Bill Ayers was testing him. Because the way these radicals work, they don't give you a big project until you've passed muster with a small project. And so they sent him out to Chicago to see what he would do. He passed the test.
I decided to become a community organizer. I'll organize black folks at the grassroots.
It was in these neighborhoods that I received the best education that I ever had.
He had virtually no impact in his so-called community organizing career, except to lay the foundation for his future radical associations. It was then also, I believe, that he was exposed, perhaps by Louis Farrakhan, to Khalid al-Mansour, because it's while he's a community organizer that Khalid al-Mansour starts raising money to promote Obama to Harvard Law School. So obviously, in Ayers' mind and al-Mansour's mind, Obama had proven his reliability. He was somebody that could be trusted to do what he was told, and all of a sudden, they now are going to take him to the next level. All that comes out of the years in Chicago. Obama wasn't organizing a community. He was organizing his career and organizing his life step to the next level. That's all he did in Chicago.
This is the elite Kenwood community here in Chicago, and I'm actually walking down Barack Obama's street. You can see behind me Secret Service and police officers are blocking it off so we can't get too close. Back in 2005, Barack Obama purchased the house for $1.65 million. It was a controversial deal. Coincidentally, he bought it the same day that the Rezko family purchased the land next door. And it just so happens they live half a mile from William Ayers, the unrepentant terrorist part of the Weather Underground. And this is it. Would he be interested in interviewing with us? And just down the street from those homes is the house of Louis Farrakhan, the leader of the Nation of Islam. There have been numerous reports linking Senator Barack Obama with Farrakhan and the people of his church.
You know, there's a model for all this, and the model is Hugo Chavez. Bill Ayers has been to Venezuela and admires Hugo Chavez, the Venezuelan dictator. Chavez, in turn, learned from Fidel Castro in the Cuban Revolution. So if you love the Cuban Revolution and Castro, and if you love what's happening in Venezuela with Hugo Chavez, you'll love Barry Obama, Barack Obama, as he calls himself, in the White House. We're basically going to be in the throes of a socialist revolution, which attempts to essentially freeze out anybody who's not part of this radical ideology.
And coming up next, we take a look at Obama's relationship with an admitted and unrepentant terrorist, William Ayers, and we'll prove to you that this relationship was more than just, quote, friendly. Then he was Barack Obama's pastor for more than 20 years and plagued his political campaign. Coming up later, we look into the Illinois senator's controversial association with the Reverend Jeremiah Wright. Straight ahead. We now turn to admitted and unrepentant terrorist William Ayers and the relationship with him that Obama continues to try and downplay.
In the 1970s, a notorious organization called the Weather Underground was one of America's most radical groups of terrorists. Led by William Ayers, the Weather Underground was a violent anti-American group that was formed on the campus of the University of Michigan during the midst of the anti-war and civil rights movements. In 1970, they issued a declaration of a state of war against the United States government. Members adopted different identities and plotted acts of terror that included the bombing of the U.S. Capitol, the Pentagon, New York City Police Headquarters, military recruitment centers, and several other government buildings. Eventually, they landed on the FBI's 10 Most Wanted list. While the group's main targets were the government establishments, one night in 1970, they made one very personal attack. It was on February 21st when William Ayers and the Weathermen went after John Murtaugh and his entire family. Murtaugh was presiding over the trial of another group of terrorists, 21 members of the Black Panther Party, who were indicted in a plot to bomb New York landmarks and department stores.
February 21st, 1970. I had just turned 9 about 2 months earlier. It was pre-trial, jury selection. About 2 o'clock in the morning, our entire family, 4 of us, actually 5 of us, my sister, my brother, my parents, were awakened to 3 firebombs, carefully placed, 2 at the front entrance of the house, 1 by the back door underneath the tank of the family car.
And by the way, the morning after, when the sunlight comes out, 3 sentences are revealed, blood-red graffiti on the sidewalk, "Free the Panther 21, the Viet Cong have won, and kill the pigs."
That's right. And it's also important to remember, Sean, that we were one of 3 sites bombed that night around New York City. It wasn't just our house.
Yeah, no one ever caught or was tried for the attempt on your family's life here, because the one underneath the car literally was under the gas tank, right?
That's right. That's right. And thank God a neighbor actually managed to put that out before it actually exploded.
The Murtaugh family survived, but the Weathermen weren't finished yet. That same night, bombs were thrown at a police car in Manhattan and 2 military recruiting stations in Brooklyn, New York. Over the years, many members would turn and leave the group. The remaining fugitives operated underground. While on the run, William Ayers married fellow Weatherman terrorist Bernadine Dorn. In 1981, the two finally turned themselves in and were tried but not convicted because of prosecutorial misconduct. After the trial, Ayers and his wife tried to integrate back into society, and he went back to school, began teaching, and was also, quote, a community leader. It was his position as a, quote, community leader that would lead Ayers and Barack Obama to cross paths. It was in 1995 that Ayers and his wife hosted a political coming-out party at their Chicago home for a young Barack Obama. As you can now imagine, though, Obama is now downplaying his association with his radical friends. The Obama campaign describes the relationship between Obama and Ayers as quote-unquote friendly, but Hannity's America has discovered much more. Besides the coming-out party in 1995, Senator Barack Obama also served as a director for the nonprofit Woods Fund of Chicago from 1999 to 2002, alongside his friend William Ayers. In addition, both Ayers and Obama have also appeared together at various public speaking engagements. In 2002, they spoke together at a forum in Chicago, sponsored in part by the University of Illinois, titled Intellectuals, Who Needs Them? Obama and Ayers were on a panel of just 6 people. It would seem that they are a little bit more than just, quote, friendly, but Obama continues to hedge and weave over this relationship. In April, during a primary debate, George Stephanopoulos asked Senator Obama about these ties.
Can you explain that relationship for the voters and explain to Democrats why it won't be a problem?
George, but this is an example of what I'm talking about. This is a guy who lives in my neighborhood, who's a professor of English in Chicago, who I know and who I have not received some official endorsement from. He's not somebody who I exchange ideas from on a regular basis. And the notion that somehow, as a consequence of me knowing somebody who engaged in detestable acts 40 years ago when I was 8 years old, somehow reflects on me and my values doesn't make much sense, George.
But as Obama tries to downplay their relationship and distance himself from the unrepentant terrorists, we cannot forget this past that he's trying to bury. We also must remember that Obama and Ayers do have a history together, and Ayers still refuses to apologize for his horrific acts of terror. In fact, of all days, September 11, 2001, the very day the United States was attacked by Muslim extremists, Ayers told the New York Times, quote, "I don't regret setting bombs. I feel we didn't do enough," unquote. When asked if he would do it all over again, he said, quote, I don't want to discount the possibility